There's not a lot of specific videos on it, so I just wanted to put one out and show what I'm doing, and hopefully it works, and maybe you can do it too if you're gonna make one of your own ponds. Hey, welcome back to another evening out here on the pond. Today I am getting the sump pit completely dug out and ready for accepting the barrel system and the pipes that I'm going to be using. So I have to dig it about 5 feet, maybe 5.5 feet down, and just get semi 3x4 kind of circle here, and then I'll put 2 barrels in here, backfill everything around, and I can finish my excavation. But it's important that I get this sump pit installed and ready before I do everything else and get the pond liner completely in the large basin over there. Once I get this pit dug, hopefully I can get some barrels this week and we'll get the whole system set up and installed. All right. Here's a good representation of how the sump pit's gonna work. The roof is gonna drain through this downspout and pipe down into the sump barrel, which will be in that area obviously. And then all the groundwater is going to be underneath the rubber liner. That'll travel through that ditch, through a pipe, and into the barrel as well. And as the water fills up the barrel, or the hole in this case, the sump pit will activate and start pumping all the water out and into the field. So I'm going to get all this pumped out, and then I need to work on getting all the materials in here to make this actually work properly. But yeah, that's how it's actually going to work. And it's working right now as a raw feature. That's awesome. And barrel's moving. Here's the fabric we're using. We have a 6-foot wide by 300-foot roll here of woven fabric. It's not what the professionals use, but it's definitely better than nothing. So this is what we're going to use. Alright, we got the French drain all in, stoned, and back wrapped with the fabric. Hopefully it's gonna all work. I do want to go through and tape off every like 6 feet or so, just to hold the fabric together for all the backfilling and everything else. But yeah, it's coming along. Gonna French drain this, and then hopefully we can get this whole area here covered in fabric and stapled in, just so it's not washing away any of my shelves when the rain comes. We have about a half an hour until the rain comes, so puppy's keeping an eye out for the rain there, and we're about to make some headway on this pond. What do you guys think? It's looking pretty big. Getting all the liner laid out for this main basin area, because I want to get the liner and rubber in here, more liner, and then the stones. So all this is being held in place while we dig out the beach and the intake bay on the other side of that wall. This is about 4 feet deep, so you can jump off and cool off. Really liking it. I'm pumped. Can't wait to see that waterfall go. With the help of my dad, we got the whole area here, the main excavation, fabriced off. We did just get it covered up so it didn't get washed away from the rain. And then I came in with some landscaping staples and pinned it down, trying to get all the edges looking a lot nicer and neat. I have it stopped right here. You can see there's nothing there yet, but what I want to do is build a retainment wall on this side and then backfill this side to a point, because at right about here my intake bay is going to start. So it's a little complicated here. I have to build a retainment wall on that side, backfill on this side, and then create another 4x6 pit 4 feet deep right here on top of this trench, backfill behind it, and then create the sump pit area there and backfill all that. So this is a pretty integral part, and it's going to be a little tricky, but I think we can figure it out. Up. But I am going to have to go to Lowe's, pick up some pipe and fittings to hook up the sump pit before I can do any backfilling. I just hate shopping. I don't want to go out in public. I just want to stay here. If you're just joining us, consider subscribing. I'm building a DIY koi pond. I'm bringing you along for the whole process, everything that I can, as well as all my fish and tanks inside and my other channels. So you go ahead and check out all those in the description down below. You got my hole saw right there. We did a 4.5 inch hole just for some extra play. We got this one in, and you definitely needed a 4.5 inch hole to get that corrugated 4 inch in, because the outside diameter is a lot bigger than the inside. Either way, got the rainwater harvest system hooked up. Once I get this riser in, you can see how both pipes will just run water straight into the barrel, and then we'll be pumping out. I'll need one more hole over here towards the top for my outflow of the sump pump to be pumping back into my pond. But I won't be doing that until we get the intake bay dug out and I know where that pipe's going to be going. So for now, this is how it's going to be. I want to glue my fittings together, and then I can backfill all this in up to the height of the barrel. I'm thinking I might actually come in with an L bracket and attach this pipe so it doesn't end up moving or falling, shifting any. So I'll probably secure that to the barrel as well. But that's how my sump pit for my pond is going to be working, to harvest the rainwater and to manage the groundwater. If you want to see the pump operational and the pond finished, go ahead and subscribe down below, and we'll be putting out videos of the progress of the pond until she is completely done, and probably some more after that. It's definitely going to be a centerpiece here on property, so definitely subscribe down below so you can see the finished product. So I haven't seen this done much. It's kind of just theory, and I think it's going to work, but there's not a lot of videos on it. I've looked for DIY pond videos and controlling the drain water, but there's not a lot of specific videos on it, so I just wanted to put one out and show what I'm doing, and hopefully it works, and maybe you can do it too if you're going to make one of your own ponds. I'm going to put a level on this barrel to get it right in place, and I think I'll drive a T-post in beside it and screw it into the barrel so it doesn't move whenever we start backfilling this hole. If you've noticed, you can see the top of this barrel is underground, so it's not tall enough for what I need. This is a sump pit you can buy from Lowe's. It has the lid and has access points for 4-inch lines, but this barrel is not big enough for what I need, so I had to upgrade to a larger barrel. But I think I can use this as a riser to get up to ground level. You can cut the bottom out of that barrel so I have access all the way down through, and then I'm going to attach it to the top of this barrel, and then I'll backfill, and I'll be able to put a lid on top and hide. Great. I'll be able to put the lid on top and be able to bury it and hide it, and then still have access to the sump pit for any maintenance. Puppy. That's the plan. I'm going to get this together, take some photos along the way, and show you when it's all done. Then we'll just have to wait for rain to see if she works. But it's getting pretty wet here, so I'm gonna reach over with my golf club and trip my sump pump on and let it pump out all this water. I have this 4-inch perforated French drain pipe wrapped in fabric and drainage stone all the way underneath my pond, which goes all the way around to this point up here, and we'll show you that later. But that will keep all the groundwater from building up underneath the liner. It'll force it all the way down into the pit where I can redivert it to where I need it. So that pipe goes right into the bottom of the barrel, and it's right there. And that's all I'm really going to do with that. I am going to put an angle bracket to attach it to the barrel, and I'll do that in a little bit, but I'll attach this to the barrel just so it can't get pulled out during the backfill process. And I'll finish up this last few feet with stone and fabric. So that pipe will be good. Now for the downspout pipe, I have some angled fittings, a 45 and 290s, and then some connecting pieces, all 4-inch drainage pipe. I want to glue all these fittings together, but I wanted to dry fit it first so I could make sure that it worked, and it does. It sits right on there. It'll go right into this black tape. This is flex tape, which I just put on here. I already have my 4-inch hole cut. You can see that. I got the 4-inch hole cut, so I'm gonna put a slit through here with the knife so I can push my drainage pipe through it, and it'll be a nice tighter fit. And when we backfill, all the dirt won't fall into there. I'll also be putting an angle bracket, metal angle bracket on this one to hold it to the pipe as well. And then all the fittings and connections are going to get glued so they don't fall apart, and hopefully this is going to work. Out pretty good. Nice snug fit in the tape. I like it. Got these all glued, and they're gonna pretty much hold solid, I guess. I'll get an angle bracket on here. Alright, you can see I got the angle brackets attached to the pipe and the barrel. I just used some number 12 sheet metal screws and put them right through these angle brackets, and that should hold my pipe to the barrel without pulling out. I want to do the same to these with some straight brackets, and I need some different screws to screw in these T-posts that I pounded in, and they're holding the barrel nice and level. So I'm going to attach those to the barrel to the T-posts, the riser to the barrel, and then we're done. One thing to note, make sure you remember what configuration your pipe is going to be going in before you start gluing. Almost had a big problem there. Solved it though. Not pop. You're just chilling in the sun. It's a good looking pop, huh? This is the main basin of the pond here, and I have it all fabriced out and shelved. So hopefully today we can get the liner in and some more fabric and start rocking this in. Underneath the center is the French drain, like I said, all the way through. And then I have this half already rocked in and rubbered with a French drain underneath that's been running for a while, so it's still been working. You can see how I just fill it over with stone and logs, so it all comes up to this, which is the highest point. And this is my Wetland Bog Filter, which I don't want to drop leaves in there, so I'm going to pull those away. There's a problem with digging a pond in the fall. Leaves are falling. There, you can see this barrel has a bunch of water in it, and a French drain right there at that rock line is where the French drain starts. So all the water in here pushes all the groundwater underneath the rubber into the drain pipe, and then it takes the path of least resistance all the way down to the lowest point. This is the highest point of the pond and one of the filters, so all the water will upflow from the bottom of this through all the stone, over that shelf and down the little stream, and then the waterfall comes in, collects with that water, and the full volume flows downstream around the bend into the garden bed area and over into the larger basin, which will be for recreation or swimming or just dangling your feet in. And I'm planning on putting a beach right here, then an intake bay for another filter slash pump housing system in that white square there, and over the trench a little bit, because all the groundwater underneath the intake bay needs to be pushed into the pipe as well. So I have to stack it over the trench here, or I'd have to dig another trench, but I don't want to do that. So in this area will be 2 more barrels with 2 pumps, 1 pump feeding the waterfall and 1 pump feeding the wetland filter. It'll all flow down this way, and then any excess water from the groundwater or the downspout rainwater will collect in the barrel and get pumped also into my intake bay. If the intake bay is full, then it'll overflow out into the field. If the pond evaporated some water and needs it, it'll just fill up the pond and then overflow if we have any excess. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see if it works, go ahead and subscribe down below, and I'll be posting progress all through the building of the pond. Yesterday, my dad and brother were able to help me get the liner and the fabric into the main section of the pond, which was a big step in the process here. We got a few of the stones laid in there to hold it in place so it doesn't blow around. That'll be coming up in the next video, so definitely stick around for that. If you have any questions about the sump pit system that I'm running here, go ahead and drop those comments down below, and I'll be sure to answer them. If you want to see this thing running, then stick around for a future video. And a final reveal at the end as well. Hit that like button if you learned something. You can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.